Hello, in this video I'm going to show you how I built this laser enclosure for very little money and with exceptionally few skills. Now, to give you an idea, this is a Sculpt Fun S9 and the small footprint one of these, the enclosure for that from Sculpt Fun costs about $570 or euro. And this all in cost me about 120, so a quarter of the price roughly. And it didn't take very long whatsoever, and as I say, you don't really need any skills at all. Now, why do you need an enclosure? First of all, that might be the first thing to address. Of course, you can use a diode laser to some degree without an enclosure, but it can get a bit smelly. After all, it is burning through various materials. Maybe not quite so bad with some, but with others, like if you're doing any PVC or acrylic, those fumes can get quite toxic. So it's a good idea to get rid of those gases and the smoke or whatever via an exhaust system like I've attached here. So that's the reasoning. And the second or primary reason that I built it this way was cost. I wanted to do it on a budget. And the main frame here is actually a coffee table that I got from Facebook Marketplace. If you go on Facebook Marketplace, search coffee table, you can see these for free. I got this one for free. But you can pick them up for 10 or 15 euro of about this size. All I did was take the top off because I wanted to look down into the box from time to time, and certainly I wanted to look in this way. I could have left the top on, but I thought it got more light into the box itself, the enclosure. So next up, what I did was I wanted some places to attach my panels, so I got some 1x1, some 25mm stock I just had knocking around in the workshop, and I put it here and down on the bottom between the legs and up. So these are screwed into the sides at both ends, and this piece is screwed into the worktop. There's a piece that's screwed into the worktop along the front, and this end just mirrors this end. So next to no materials there, one piece of 1x1 button with a few screws to hold it down. Now the actual top isn't held down. I can lift it up and take the table frame away, so to speak. Now that's quite easy to do. So then next up was the plexiglass. That's quite easy to cut. This is only 1.5mm thick, so about 1/16 of an inch, and you can repeatedly score it with a sharp craft knife, and it will in fact break. Now I didn't do that. I've got a table saw. You could use a table saw or a jigsaw or a track saw to cut the panels to the relevant size that you want. That was relatively easy. I haven't sealed it in any way because I wanted air to be coming in, because I'm taking quite a lot of air out with the extract fan. So you don't need to seal the whole thing up at all. You're just trying to give it enough so that the extract is taking out the air that's in here, and that's being replaced by air that it's sucking in through the gaps around it, especially at the back. Next up, I wanted access, obviously, need to get in and out of this thing. So what I did was I've made it magnetic, as you can see, and I'll show you how I did this in a close-up. But basically I used a 12mm Forstner bit, and I only went in say maybe 10mm, maybe a bit less. You could, if you don't have Forstner bits, you could use a 1/2 inch or a 12mm spade bit, or power bit they're called sometimes. And I'll do a close-up of this. So here you can see I've drilled a hole with the Forstner bit. Just make a mark like so if you're using a power bit, but I've used the Forstner bit, drilled a hole just 5mm or so deep, and I've super glued in one of these magnets. As I said, the polarity doesn't matter. And then all I'm going to do is offer up the plexiglass. Make sure you wear a glove here, because it's quite possible you're going to get CA glue on your fingers, and no matter which way I hold this, the magnet will find itself with the right polarity. So just slide it off, turn it upside down, put a drop of super glue on. That's probably a bit too much, but and that's in position. Just a little spray with some activator, wait 10 or 15 seconds, and that will be on there. This clips on. Within no time I had the basic enclosure formed. I added an LED strip that changes colour. I won't turn that on because you get some flicker with the camera, but there's an LED strip in here that costs another €10. And over on the back, which I'll show a close-up of, I've got a duct mount, which is just a square piece of plastic with a hole and a flange that meets a bit of aluminium flexible hosing, a wall-mounted fan here which cost around €25, I think, and a piece of 100mm pipe that goes up. Now, it's not vented outside. You can do that if that's depending on your circumstance, but I have a loft up here that I never go up into, so I've just vented it up into the loft. As long as the fumes aren't down here with me, that's fine. Now I should mention that I still need to wear glasses if I'm looking in when the laser's cutting, because I haven't put red film on this. I thought that the red film, A, it's extra expense, B, I'm not looking in here often enough to worry about putting the glasses on from time to time, and I get better visual of what's happening in here without the red film. But if you wanted to, you could put that red film on that stops the harmful rays coming off of the laser if you're looking in. Other things that I have done just while we're talking about this laser is I got the extension kit, so it's actually larger. I've also put in air assist and upgraded the head and the laser itself, so it's a bit, but they're nothing to do with the enclosure. So as I say, all in all, I'm in for about $120. A much smaller enclosure from Sculpt Fun would have been over $550. This is about 4 feet by just under 2'6" deep and just over 1.5 feet. So I think it's around 480 high, 125 long and 680 deep. In millimeters. So there you have it. That's how I built this enclosure. If you found this useful, please please subscribe to the channel if you'd like more tips like this. I will in fact be making another video on an enclosure that I made for my 3D printer, which I'll put up here. Okay, I've been Alan, you've been watching, and I'll see you in the next video.